This is the Orange AD200, one of the best bass amps ever created. These things have been around for a long time, but now Orange has released a new version, which is the best one yet. It's heavy, it's loud, it's amazing. Let's check it out. Hi, welcome to Bass the World. My name is Gregor Fries and on bass we have my buddy Lars Lehmann today playing a bunch of basses through the stack, the AD200 and the OBC 115C cabinet. These are the black versions most you will see in the wild are orange, which you can spot at every gig from a mile away. These look a bit more traditional, not for Orange but for big ass tube amps in general. Speaking of tubes, this is of course an all tube head running on 4 KT8s in the power amp and two 12AX7s and one AT7 in the preamp. The total power output is 200 watts at either 4 or 8 ohms. That doesn't sound much by today's Class D number standards, but this is all tube, very different efficiency. There's no way you will ever need more, and if you do, you're playing big stadiums, it should be able to afford a bunch of those. The beauty, or one of the beautiful things about these amps, is how they distort if you push the preamp. It gets even better if you push the power amp too, but that's something that we can't do here with neighbors and ears that we have further use for. The controls are as simply as it gets. It starts with an input gain on the right, followed by a 3-band EQ and a master volume. Orange doesn't use description like treble and bass, instead they have these iconic symbols showing you what each control does. Also on the front we have two bass inputs, one for active, one for passive basses. The main on-off switch and the standby, or as they call it here, warm up and play, which all proper tube amps have. These amps need to warm up before you start playing. Switch them on, wait a minute, and then you can flip to play and start wrecking balling your neighborhood. Now we should address what's new. After all, that's the whole reason why they updated the amp. Visually, they moved from a small orange stripe above the controls to a much bigger one, framing the entire control section, which reminds me of their solid-state amps like the OB1. The font has changed slightly. Gone is the Mark III line from the last version. It just says AD200 now, which looks better. The new version is simply called AD200 2024, but fortunately they left that year for the specs list, you won't find it on the front panel. One new technical feature is the clean switch. It reduces the gain in the first preamp stage, which takes loads of saturated low end away. Now you can use this amp even for sounds like this. This is super useful. These amps produce and deliver massive amounts of low end, and now you can tame the whole thing in an instant. Which became even more important since now they're using an updated output transformer, which lets even more basses go through. But the most important new feature is the possibility to bias each tube individually, which makes this amp a lot more service friendly. Tubes have become a lot more expensive over the last years, and with this amp you don't need to buy matched sets anymore, which saves you a lot of money in the long run. These amps are built in the UK, by the way, it's something we rarely see these days. Kudos to Orange for keeping the production in-house. At the same time, they've also updated their speaker cabinets. These now come with new Celestron Pulse speakers. I'm not sure what's different about them, all I know is this sounds great, they know what they're doing, obviously. Now let's have a quick look at the back. It's just as minimalistic as the front. We got the mains in, two fuses, then our speaker outs that you can use as one 4 ohms out, two 8 ohms outs or a single 8 ohm out. Plus we get a slave out which can be used to chain multiple of these amps together, or you just use it as a line out to go into a DI. Which I feel we definitely should have done when recording this, especially for these type of sounds. What we don't have is an XLR out, we have no CAPSIM. Traditionally, none of these things belong, but I can't get rid of the feeling that they would probably convince a lot more players to buy these if they added features like this. But I'm not complaining, I respect the choice to keep this old school, which by the way also means this is as heavy as an old tube amp. 26 kilos or 57 pounds, that's one way to get your workout in before a gig. I don't love that. And I guess no one does. But that's the price you're paying for playing one of the best sounding bass amps money can buy. It's so rich, so fat, all this tube warmth, the natural compression, the saturation. There's just no way to fake this and I love it. The moment I heard this amp for the first time, I immediately checked the price and my bank balance. I haven't pulled the trigger yet and I probably shouldn't. I'm trying to have less gear, not more, but this is so good it might break the sound barrier that's called reasonable decisions. We will see. What an amp, incredible. If you want to give it a go, check the links in the video description below. We're working with a bunch of Orange dealers and if you order yours through our links, they will know we sent you and pay us a little kickback. If you decide to do that, thank you very much. Here's another Orange video, here's a fabulous bass shot shop, and here's me saying bye. Bass Bro.